So apparently somebody said that Paul, Everything Money, was advising or I don't know if he was advising, but he was saying he was selling puts. And this is a guy who, from what I have seen, this is his strategy. Basically selling puts all the way down. And he thinks it's good. It's a way to generate income. He's said the same thing about Alibaba, right? Buying it at 275 and selling puts all the way down. Hey, Paul, I got a better strategy. How about you just fucking wait till it collapses and then, maybe reassess whether or not you want to buy it. You see, Paul is full of shit, and selling puts naked puts is very risky, and that's fact. You can write it down. That is a fact. And anyone who's recommending to sell naked puts to an open general audience is a reckless fool. You can tell Paul I said that. Remember, I'm the guy that worked on Wall Street. I understand what risk is. Okay? But I'm sure some of you understand how risky selling naked puts is, and you never worked on Wall Street. It's not that difficult to understand if you have a basic understanding of options. It's even more risky in a questionable market. So the person that asked me about, or that mentioned that Paul talking about selling puts, which video is that? Does anybody know? I'm assuming this video is Michael Burry's, where he's pumping up Michael Burry. Remember, folks, anybody who's talking about what Michael Burry's doing and this and that and how good Michael Burry is a fucking clown. A fucking clown. I've already talked about why. First of all, this tells you how stupid these people are. In other words, show me, have you seen evidence that Michael Burry is somebody you should pay attention to? What's the evidence? The only evidence these fucking knuckleheads, including Paul, has seen is he watched a fucking movie, a Hollywood fictional movie. What's Michael Burry done since that time? Have you seen Paul? What's Michael Burry's fucking performance? Right? Not only that, Michael Burry's been calling for a stock market blowout for many, many years. He's a broken clock. Right? He's a broken clock. And so somebody said something like in the last stream, something like, oh no, Tommy said, oh, nobody can predict the market. Well, Tommy, I don't, anyone that says that, typically, you're hearing that from people who want you to think that you shouldn't try and forecast what's going on. I don't think anybody, well, there are actually people that say they can predict things. You don't try to predict. What you do is you're trying to analyze things, what's going on in the market versus the risk. It's all about risk. So you're doing things factoring in the risk. That's how you make investment management decisions. They're risk adjusted. You see? So, in essence, yes, the market can be predicted to some extent. It just depends upon to what extent you're trying to predict it versus your limitations. So, a typical investor obviously shouldn't try to really, get too fancy. Obviously, when things are not looking so good, you want to make adjustments. Right? When things are looking better, you want to make adjustments, right? That's factoring in risk, right? And that is looking forward in the market. You understand? So a lot of this, the problem is people use the wrong terminology. Just like I mentioned, Paul, nobody can time the market. And what he's too ignorant to realize is that so-called timing the market, which I've never used that term. It's a fucking stupid term. It's a stupid term created by Wall Street as a way to keep people in the market because that's how they make all their money all the time. What Paul says you can't time the market, but he's trying to do the exact same thing, is he not? If you're trying to buy a stock at a price that you think is undervalued, you're timing the buy, aren't you? Are you not? Are you not? Of course you are. Just like if someone is selling the market because they see a lot of risk or they think it's overvalued and they see risk, they're doing the same thing, are they not? Just like if someone is buying the stock market when they think it's undervalued, right? How come that's not a valuation call? How come someone's going to call that timing the market, but they don't say the same thing for a security? You understand? So don't listen to the bullshit you hear out there, these stupid phrases, timing the market, predicting the market. That's all nonsense. That's not credible. That's just manufactured by disinfo people, including the media, by the way. Okay? It's about the process. Okay? And speaking of process, there's no plug and chug like Paul preaches. I don't have a process I can duplicate and present and make a course on. Anybody, I'm going to do several videos on this because I want the headlines to be out there. Anyone who sells a course on anything is a scam artist. Fact, write that down. Anyone who's selling a course is a fucking scammer. Why do I say that? Because you can't just make a stupid little video course to explain something, how to do something. Now, you can say, well, no, you can. Sure, okay, you can. On low-level, simple things, you can. But if it's low-level and simple, why are you charging $500 for it? You understand? It's not worth it. It's a scam. Okay? There's no such thing as a legitimate investment course. You can't learn investing from a course. I can't create a course. Think about me, what I know. I'm one of the top guys in the world. I can't make a course unless I'm a con man, a fraudster who's going to deceive you. I can't do it. It's impossible. Okay? It's an ongoing process. It's very complicated. So the people that are selling these courses on investing and trading, they're just scamming people. They're fucking frauds. And keep in mind, everybody on YouTube, all these guys, they're all selling something. Okay? They're all selling something. Keep that in mind. They all have a different business model, a different revenue model. Paul, everything money, he wants to criticize, and rightly so, he wants to criticize StockMo for pitching penny stocks and for being paid, a paid penny stock promoter, which is disgusting. Anybody who's promoting penny stocks, you should assume, I consider them scammers. All penny stocks are scams. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Okay? But Paul seems to think he's better than StockMo because he doesn't pitch penny stocks. StockMo pitches affiliate links too, right? Kevin pitches courses and affiliate links. Graham Stephan pitches courses and affiliate links. Paul pitches his little Vegomatic analyzer, his 8 pillars. It's the same bullshit, folks. The same bullshit. Paul's just pitching something different because at the end of the day, none of these people are capable of providing people on YouTube with unique insight that will allow them to be the smart money. That's the problem. That's the bottom line. None of them are qualified or capable of doing that. That's why they're all scammers. They're selling you lies. It's a con. They're con artists. It's what they're doing. Paul, he's conning people just like Stockmo. Is Stockmo more disgusting, pathetic, degenerate? Without a doubt. Okay, without a doubt. Because clearly Stockmo, his intent is a factor there. Stockmo knows. He knows he's fucking people. Does Paul know that? I don't know. Intent is an important thing, but it doesn't absolve you from being a grifter. So we're going to take a look at this video here. We're going to hear what Paul has to say about his hero, Michael Burry. Does everybody understand? Do I need to repeat why these guys? I mean, folks, at some point, don't you think you need to do some legwork on your own? Take a look, research the guys who were propped up by Hollywood as superstars from the financial crisis. And first of all, ask yourself why I was banned. I'm the superstar. I'm the superstar. I'm the guy that wrote a book that enabled anybody in the world to have made just as much money as these guys. You understand? And I was much more extensive. I explained everything. Nobody explained all these things that were happening like I did. It's fact. I was banned. They were celebrated. Right? Ask yourself how they have done and research it. Do some legwork. How have they done since the financial crisis? Go take a look. Go and research it. Kyle Bass, how has he done? Michael Burry, how has he done? John Paulson, how has he done? How have they done? They've done poorly. They've done poorly. Okay? So remember, folks, anybody can make a trade. And the reason why I mentioned how they've done is that, think about it. The idiots out there who keep promoting Michael Burry, and once again, anyone who talks about, they're an idiot. Tell them I said that. They're a fucking idiot. All they know is from what they saw in a Hollywood movie. Okay? That's it. And I know this mentality very well because it's the same thing that the media operates on. Jim Rogers, the legendary investor. Oh, he's legendary. He retired. He retired after he made the great money with the George Soros. Okay, that was 50 years ago. What have you done for me lately? And we don't even know what his role was. Retired? Jim Rogers has never retired. Jim Rogers is still working. I explained all this. Jim Rogers is still working. He's a scammer. Does anybody know this stuff? Right? I exposed all this stuff. If you don't realize how the media works and all this shit, you're out of the loop completely. You're going to get fucked forever and everything. This is the most basic level. So you got idiots on YouTube, fake investment gurus pitching fucking clowns like Michael Burry. The same people who overemphasize Warren Buffett. And I just showed you Warren Buffett hasn't beat the S&P in the past 20 fucking years. Think about that. You're dealing with idiots on YouTube. Folks, legitimate people aren't pitching their business on YouTube. Scammers and idiots are. That's why I never pitched my business on YouTube. I'm legitimate. My clientele is not going to be on YouTube. So you make a trade, and if you blow up, nobody has to find out. You understand? No one has to find out. But if it turns out to be a great trade, you call up the media and tell everyone you're a superstar. You got it? It's a trade. That's all it is. And keep in mind, once again, if you think there could be a recession coming up, an easy call is to bet against junk bonds. Okay? Because that's the typical debt that's going to have much higher default rates. Everybody get that? It's common sense. It's not common sense on YouTube because no one's ever said it. There are a bunch of fucking idiots on YouTube. Everybody understand that? Okay? That's what they did. They didn't. None of these guys predicted the financial crisis. What is a prediction? Is a prediction making a trade? No, it's not. You want to see a prediction? You read my material. That's a prediction. Not only a prediction, you're talking about world-class, unprecedented, historical prediction that's never been done before, to the extent that I actually followed up with recommending shorting those stocks. In a book, I challenge anybody to find a book that recommends shorting a stock. That instructs you, shows you, advises you. You're never going to find it. That's how much I knew. I was confident the shit was going to zero. Okay? That's predicting definitively. A movie should be made about me, the greatest call in the history of the investment world. That's what I made. Okay? Now, I'm not bragging. I'm informing people because you all don't know this. You didn't know. Nobody knew this. It's important. Why didn't you hear this? Why have you never heard this? Now, if you're not convinced, take a look at the links. I post the archive.org. You can read the material there. It's there. Right? It's important to understand. Once you see that, you're going to say, what the fuck's going on? Like, what? He's so right. Like, what is all this shit? Like, all these people, all the lies. And then you're going to begin to realize what the hell's going on with all the deceit and the fraud in the financial media. And remember, these YouTube fake investment gurus, they're patched into the financial media. That's where they get all their information. That's why they're pumping Michael Burry. So let's take a look now. Let's listen to what Paul has to say about his hero, Michael Burry.
Michael Burry is a great tweeter. He is not as good as Donald Trump was, but he's pretty effing good.
First of all, you hear that statement? He's a great tweeter. Folks, I've gone on record saying this before. No serious, credible person is spending their fucking days on Twitter. No serious, credible person is doing that. Donald Trump, not credible, not serious. Elon Musk, not credible. He's a serious fucking scammer, though. You understand, folks? Think about it for a second. You're a serious bigwig doing this or that, and you're spending all your time on Twitter. Does that make sense to you? Like, you know, you're running a huge company, you're running a fund, and you're on Twitter just fucking typing to little fucking minions. I mean, does that make sense to you? Right? Anyway, that just shows you how stupid Paul is. He actually envies. He's a great Twitter. I mean, wow. Paul is proving to be more of a mental midget than I thought he was.
Interesting. He writes tweets and then sometimes deletes them. I don't know why. Now, I am not very active on Twitter. I'm more active on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram. You want to see lots of cute pictures of my dogs. But Michael Burry is a genius. He is famous from the movie The Big Short, but he was written about in the book. He was a doctor who just studied medicine, thought it was easy, and started to invest. And he did extremely well. I believe the name of his company was like Scion Management or something like that. He was one of the first to invest in the housing bubble and the crash by shorting the bonds that
So you hear all this, folks? He's a genius. He's amazing because he shorted the subprimes. I wrote about it. He made a trade. I detailed everything that happened. And remember, none of these guys, Michael Burry, Kyle Bass, John Paul, they didn't short Fannie or Freddie. Those were investment grade. I recommended to short those even. That's what I knew. I knew this shit was going to crater. I even I even mentioned and hinted towards the General Electric and General Motors collapsing because I knew they were essentially banks. They had become consumer finance companies. So if Paul thinks that Michael Burry's a genius, he must think that I'm God. Reach out to Paul. Hey, Paul, read those chapters I have posted. Right? If Michael Burry is a genius, I'm God. Right? Think about that. And I've never called myself a genius, much less God. I'm just telling you that for context here. Right? You understand what the stupidity from the typical people like Paul?
Mortgages inside of them. Because if you saw the movie, he talked about
so here's Paul's context as the movie. As you saw in the movie. So Paul's only reference is the fucking movie. The movie. It's fiction, Paul. This is how stupid the guy is. I mean, can you believe this? Has everybody here read my chapters I've posted for free online? Has everybody read those chapters? Chapter 12 and chapter 10 of my two books, 16 years ago? You all know where to find those? Has everybody read those chapters? Go to my channel profile page and you can see the links. Do you see those? Has everybody read those chapters? Study those chapters. Some of you will take several years to do it sufficiently. Okay. See that? About. Okay, you see that? In most of my video descriptions, you'll see below archive.org. You see that? There's 2 chapters there. The first is a detailed 40-some page chapter, probably 41, 45 page chapter, detailing everything that ended up happening in the real estate collapse. I went and I talked about all the derivatives. I identified the mortgage-backed securities. I even identified the asset-backed securities tied to student loans. Nobody did that. I dealt with all the stuff. And then I wrote a chapter specifically focusing in another book on shorting those stocks and making a shitload of money. And the home builders. And almost all these stocks went to zero. So you all haven't read this stuff? All you all should be reading this stuff and studying it. And then ask yourself the question, who really predicted the financial crisis? Ask yourself, someone who made a trade or someone who actually tried to help Main Street do well, tried to warn them and tried to help them make a shitload of money and was banned. Think about that for a second, folks. And this is just scratches the surface of what I had written. You know, I mean, my research is second to none. So, anyway, this is what Paul knows about Michael Burry, is what he watched in a Hollywood movie. This is the extent of what he knows about the financial crisis. Paul, you're a fucking dildo. Tommy, I'm sure you run across Paul in the Discord. Why don't you inform Paul about the real guy, the guy that predicted the financial crisis, unlike anybody in the world? Paul already knows about me, I'm sure, but he's not going to say anything. Same reason why none of these other guys are going to say anything. What are they going to say? So I'm not going to waste any more time on Paul. He's blowing Michael Burry stupidly, and Paul, once again, think how stupid Paul is giving you a rendition of what he saw in a movie. This is all fiction, but Paul is stating it as fact. Okay, I wrote in 2 books 2 years before the financial crisis exactly what was going on, and just from those chapters you will learn more. I will guarantee you will learn more about the capital markets than everything you've learned in your life. Remember, I'm the guy that's banned. I'm the guy that nobody knows about, folks. Okay? Like I say, the most important thing is to spend most time looking at my research, my track record. Because the more you do that, the more you're going to realize, you're going to say, what the fuck's going on in the world? This guy, one of the top, maybe the top guy. And he's been intentionally sidelined from day one. And then you look into when I filed a complaint to the Securities and Exchange Commission in 2008, shortly after Washington Mutual was seized. You can find that report online right now. Just take a look. Just write Washington Mutual seized illegally. I put together a quick report, 20 pages or so. This is why, folks. Because they see a powerful person, a powerful force, an intelligent person who can't be bought off, who's exposing all the fraud. Washington Mutual was illegally seized and inappropriately seized. They were not insolvent. If people understood the true reality of the financial crisis, there would have been massive riots. People still don't even know truly what happened. You see? I told you guys this. Some of you already know. After that SEC report, even though they tried to sweep it under the rug, they gave it. They let some fucking chump handle it, and I was contacted about it, and it was a formality. That's what it was, and I was interrogated by the feds. And you know who called the feds on me? The banking regulators. I'm not kidding. I have proof too. It's funny, like nobody believes anything I say, but no one questions all the scammers. Right? You know. That's why I say put your money where your fucking mouth is, or shut your fucking mouth. I've always been willing to put my money where my mouth is. You see? Nobody else is willing to do that ever. I got a lot of stories, folks. You all don't even know. So, you know, I know what's going on. I see the deal.
GDP, 10-year cyclically adjusted PE ratio, and the price to sales ratio, it shows that the S&P has to fall by about 50% more. What happened? It probably won't be as prevalent. You will hear me saying this is great.
Paul's an idiot. Doesn't know what he's talking about. It's fucking
Michael
clown.
Burry.
This is the guy, Paul, who he goes by the Buffett indicator. I'm a value guy, so I'm going to go with Buffett. Folks, I can assure you, think about this for a second, by the way. Warren Buffett, he'll tell you he doesn't know how to forecast the market. I'm not going to say time the market. That's a bullshit phrase. He can't forecast the market at all, right? And so, but he has an indicator, right? Right? I can tell you, I don't know any, I'm the top forecaster in the world of the market. I don't know anybody else that's as good as me. I'm not perfect, but show me somebody who's at least as good as me. And I'll tell you this, I don't look at the Buffett indicator. It's fucking clown. It's clownish. Okay? See, folks, once again, you're dealing with Paul. Paul is a real estate guy. Real estate is not a difficult thing. Okay? It's quite simple, actually. Paul was making real estate videos before the pandemic. Paul is not an investment expert. Paul is a follower. He follows the media. He follows what people say about Buffett and Michael Burry. Paul is a follower. He's not a leader in thought. He's a follower. Anyone who listens to somebody, that somebody should be a leader. They should blaze the pathway. Paul is a clown. And let me just say one more thing. Somebody find the video about Paul recommending selling naked puts. The worst thing that you can do is to stick yourself in a Discord. See, what Paul's doing now is he's pitching his little monthly bullshit. And by the way, folks, he'll let's see if he does it here at the end. He'll come and say, he'll show you a comparison of so-called competitors. He's pushing this garbage hard. Here's the point, folks. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. If you're dealing with commoditized information, it's about the money, right? So give you an example. I could charge $10,000 an hour and it's worth it because my insights are world class. I can save people a lot of money through my insight. Good example. Just something that I gave for free and everybody should have done it. Look at VOO versus VT. Think about the money you could save knowing about the reality of international stocks, right? That's a really simple example. My point is that I don't care if everything money is $30 a month or $1 a month, even if it's free. If you're dealing with something that can cause you problems, it doesn't matter if it's free. Stay the fuck away. You understand? This is the problem. This is the big problem. Don't look at the price. Is something amazing? Is it good? Or is it a disaster? You're going into a Discord and Paul says, oh, it's good, you can screen it and then you can find out more information about the stock in the Discord. You can talk to people. So think about it for a second. You want to talk to nameless, faceless fucking chumps who are there just like you. They don't know shit. And you want to get ideas off of these people. Really? And you think that you're going to beat the fucking market? You think you're going to be on the right side of the trade? Really? That's the fucking last thing you want to be, is around a bunch of fucking clowns. Okay? What these Discords do is they create cults. They create a cult following. So people they'll stay there because they get to know their friends and, they're comfortable there. They're not going to fucking learn anything or make any money. They probably think that they are, but they're not going to. Everybody understand that? I mean, based upon what Paul says, he's been saying about his little Discord, he's basically trying to sell the community, right? In that case, everybody just started a forum. Start your own forum and start charging, right? Make it free, right? Once you got members, start charging. It's about the community, right? That's a fucking scam. That's bullshit. That's why I say, folks, everything money, at the end of the day, it's no better. Although you can say it is, but at the end of the day, it's no better than Stockmo and Tom Nash and Meet Kevin and all the rest of these fake investment gurus. Because at the end of the day, remember, if you're not able to truly, consistently learn insightful things and do really well, you're not going to beat the pros. You're not going to do well, right? Whether you die by a gunshot wound, car crash, or in a fire, you may see that as different, right? But at the end of the day, you're going to die. So you pick your poison. Is your poison going to be Tom Nash, Stockmo, Meet Kevin, Everything Money, Chris Sane, Keenan Grace, Larry Jones? At the end of the day, they're all poison because they're not qualified, they're not credible, and they're fucking clowns. It's that simple. And it's funny because Paul, his whole pitch is, and I think more and more he's trying to pitch the Discord because, people criticize him because, and I've seen people write comments like, oh, every time Paul profiles a stock, it collapses, which there's a lot of truth to that from what I've seen. But so he's trying to pitch the whole Discord now. It's kind of like Tom Nash's little intro. My name is Paul Gabrail, and I'm a value investor. And my goal is to buy $1 for 70 cents. Right? So Paul thinks that he can understand the real value, the intrinsic value of a stock. The problem is, look at his track record. He can't. He can't fucking do it. He can't do it. So I want to encourage you all to make your own channels and do some of the stuff I'm not able to do. It's too time consuming for me. For instance, go through Everything Money's videos and document how much they fucked up. Same with Kevin, so on and so forth, right? All these guys. You see? The problem behind Everything Money is, once again, there's twofold. The first thing is he's pitching a veg-o-matic. He's trying to make something that's very complicated simple. And I believe that leads people into a false sense of security. And the naive people, the newer people, are going to fall for that. Because the newer dumbasses that don't understand how complicated analyzing stocks is. And listen, I'm telling you folks, you can't do it. Buy the fucking S&P. They hear, oh, cash flows. Oh, we got this process. Oh, we're talking about profits. We're talking about PE ratios. We're talking about this. Oh, wow, it makes sense to me. That's how you analyze a stock. Oh, okay. So you get the fucking knuckleheads that don't know anything that fall for that. It's dangerous because he's pitching a process that doesn't work. And then he says, well, you should use this as an initial screen and then look into the company. And then when someone said, the question I get a lot is, well, how do you look into the company, Paul? And then, you know what Paul said? Go to the Discord. That's what he said. He actually told people that's how they can look into the company. Go ask a bunch of other clueless idiots who are stupid enough to pay money every month to this fucking bullshit, and ask them how to look to look more into the company. Can you believe this? Really? I mean, really? I mean, tell me that's not a scam. Tell me that's not a fucking scam. And the second problem I have, of course, is their marketing tactics. And you've seen the videos. I've shown them. Take a look. You got these. Here's their grift, their major grift. They want to suck people in to the Discord, tell them all this bullshit, and you got newbies that fall for this crap until they lose their ass. Then they realize it's bullshit. And then they upsell them. Oh, day trading. Going to teach you how to short stocks. Shorting stocks for beginners. They've made a video, shorting stocks for beginners. Day trading for beginners. Think about that. I mean, and they're preaching day trading. Day trading is a fucking scam. People that pitch day trading are scammers. Write that down. And remember, of course, that's where it's important to remember who I am and my credentials. Okay? And you have Mo, who thinks that you can short stocks, day trade shorting, and it's okay. It's the same risk as long as you use stops. It's the same risk as going long. Well, I guess what he means is going long in terms of making trades. And when he made that comment, of course, folks, if you're using stop losses, like, you're going to stop your account down to fucking zero. Trading stocks as a process, if that's your game. In other words, I'm not saying you can't make some trades, because you can, and at some point you should sometimes, but when I say that, I shouldn't say that, because you got to have a lot of knowledge and know when to do it and how to do it. But my point is that if you're pitching an investment strategy of day trading, okay, that's a scam. Whether it's going long or going short, you can't teach that. Is it possible that somebody in the world can make a decent amount of money day trading? Well, depending on the duration, let's say, yeah, okay, I'll say there's a handful, but we're talking less than 1%, probably 0.1%. And the main point is that you can't teach that. It's unique to that individual. It's not something teachable. Okay? Day trading, and people who pitch day trading as a strategy, that's a scam. They're scammers. It's that simple. It's the same thing with penny stocks. People who promote penny stock trading, they're scammers. And I challenge, who's going to refute that? I'm the BSD. I'm the big swinging dick that worked in the industry. I advise hedge funds. Who can refute what I have to say? Folks, if you go to legitimate, experienced financial professionals, they're going to tell you the same thing. What I'm saying is not unique. It's not rocket science. Honest, credible professionals are going to tell you the same thing. Okay? And remember, to some extent, it's demand. It's the demand that's feeding these vultures, these predators, these parasites. It's the demand for greedy, selfish, lazy people who want to believe that they can make money day trading, that they can quit their job and day trade. And then it's worse, of course, when Mo comes out with a video telling people that he thinks they can do it with $250,000. This is just what's shocking to me, how Mo can come out and basically say, yeah, if you got $250,000, you can quit your job and become a day trader. I mean, I'm thinking, like, how many people are going to be on the fucking street if they listen to him? You know, it's disgusting. They lure people in with these videos. They have videos on dollar cost averaging, right? Dollar cost averaging. What's an IRA? They lure the suckers in. And so the suckers that don't know, I mean, think about people who are watching videos on dollar cost averaging and what an IRA is. Those are going to be the lowest hanging fruit in terms of knowing about investments, right? DCA. There you go. How many videos? Just on this alone. IRA. So my point is that obviously people that are watching these videos, right, on what an IRA is, what dollar cost averaging is, they're going to be susceptible to fall for Paul's 8-pillar stock analyzer bullshit, because they're going to be hearing a guy, they don't know anything about investors, they're going to be hearing a guy talk about cash flows and earnings and PE ratio and this and that, and it's going to make sense to them, right? And these are the same people that are going to fall for this bullshit because they don't know anything, and they're going to maybe eventually fall for day trading once they're in the Discord. You understand? This is the problem. So folks, I want to remind you, spread my videos, spread my channel. It needs the views. I don't monetize, but if you want things to happen, these videos to make an impact, to help more people wake up. And of course, you got to understand, most people aren't going to see it. That's why it takes a lot of views. It's going to be 1%, maybe 2%. They're going to wake up. Okay. So spread the videos, spread them around. I'm telling you. And go to CoffeeZilla. Ask him about Tom Nash. Ask him why he's not coming out with an apology video on Tom Nash. Right? I mean, think about it. With my track record, my status, I could make a YouTube video pumping out all this bullshit. What am I doing? Am I doing that? No. I see predators and scammers. None of these people are qualified. And this is the shocking thing. None of these people are qualified at all. None of them have any credentials. That's the shocking thing. Think about it. All the people in the investment world that have credentials, and nobody's on YouTube. Why? Because it's all about the audience. They're easy to scam. They're easy to fool. Credible professionals are dealing with credible people. 99% of YouTube audience is fucking stupid. It's just that simple. And that, if you don't believe me, ask yourself why YouTube is plagued with scammers. Ty Lopez showed how stupid the people are on YouTube 10 years ago. The biggest scammer on YouTube, at least back then, was successful on YouTube because of people are fucking stupid. I mean, think about it. You got a guy who's poorly educated and telling you that he's successful because he has knowledge and he reads a book a day or 2 books a day. Think about that. And the whole pitch is to get you to his book club. You pay a monthly fee, right? Think about that. Meanwhile, me, a guy that's actually achieved a lot, world class, who's even written books. I mean, I'm in a position to come out and you see what I'm saying? How fucking pathetically ridiculous the scammers are. I mean, it's just, and they're successful on YouTube because the audience is a bunch of dildos, and it's also a bunch of children. There's a bunch of children, but what's worse is there's a lot of older people that are very fucking stupid, and I honestly believe that there's a very large percentage of people on YouTube, the audience, who are mentally ill. And I'm not saying this. I'm saying this. It's unfortunate.
terms of getting back as an investor, if it's coming down to here, almost irrespective of what's going on, I have to believe, if I have to make a call in advance, and of course I can change depending on what happens, but I have to believe this is where you want to start doing that 18, 17, around there. Their earnings report is a complete game changer, at least for quite a while. Bottom line, NVIDIA now is going to enter the realm of Tesla, Apple, and all these other big, I mean, listen, NVIDIA can come down to 150, come down to $100. If you don't think it's possible, then you don't understand how the market works. I mean, listen, NVIDIA can come down to 150, come down to $100. If you don't think it's possible, then you don't understand how the market works.